The agricultural greatness of China is what helped the dynasties greatly. Northern farmers grew wheat, barley, and various other grains. In the much warmer and wetter south, they grew rice. They had many agricultural innovations that aided them in growing these crops. An example of one of those inventions would be the dragon backbone pump. The farmer would scoop up water with this pump. One man could do the work of many. Another invention would be the wooden ox, modernly called the wheelbarrow. The wooden ox could be used as a cart to carry water, crops, or tools. These tools also helped lead Europe into their own agricultural revolution. Because of the surplus, the population grew from 60 million to over 100 million people. In addition to these agricultural innovations, they had many inventions that were used more often. An invention commonly used, even now, would be the metal stirrup. Invented in 4th century BC, it allowed soldiers to stay on horseback without them having to hold onto the horse's mane. Another invention would be the crossbow trigger. The crossbow trigger made the war against the Mongolians much easier. The people in China were of many cultures, some of them being Chinese, Korean, Persian, Arabic, European, and more. The capital, or largest city, of the Tang Dynasty was Chang'an. Chang'an was used mostly as a very large trading center. The capital of the Tang Dynasty was the city of Kaifeng. It was a very luxurious and elegant city that housed close to a... Most cities continued to grow under the Song, and dozens of cities had a population of close to 500,000 people. The Chinese traded with India, Europe, Southwest Asia, Korea, and Japan. They exported tea, rice, spices, jade sculptures, porcelain, and silk. They imported various foods and plants, wool, glass, gold, and silver. Although they did use maritime or overseas trade, the Chinese are mainly known for constructing and traveling on the Silk Road. The Silk Road was a system of roads from East Asia to the Mediterranean. On the Silk Road, merchants traveled in caravans to ward off bandits. Confucianism was the dominant philosophy in China and developed from the teachings of a man named Confucius. He lived 1500 years before the Song dynasty, but most from that dynasty learned about ethics and proper behavior from his teachings. He taught two basic principles. The first was Ren, or concern for others. The other philosophy was Li, or appropriate behavior. He claimed that by following Ren and Li, China would function best. After Confucius died, a new philosophy developed based off his teachings. It was called Neo-Confucianism. Neo-Confucian scholars would meet up and discuss issues such as what made humans do good and bad things. Neo-Confucianism also taught spiritual behaviors based off of Taoist and Buddhist meanings of life. Besides Confucianism, the Song dynasty had another accomplishment that changed China: government workers. Those who worked for the government formed a large group called a bureaucracy. To be part of the bureaucracy, you needed to pass many tests. Scholar officials were an elite group of the government and were very educated members. These people had very important roles in the government and were relied on greatly for their knowledge.